Hi everybody, we are at Gaea's Landing. They're baling hay over here. We're in Alabama. We passed Demopolis a little while ago and we found this beautiful little anchorage which just had a mile marker. So here we are. I think we have like 160 miles left to go on the Tombigbee River. And we are on our sailboat Uptown Girl, the mast down, motoring along the inland rivers. And it is just incredible tonight. This view is why I want to live on a boat and why I do live on a boat. So I have a cute little video situation for you, which is how to veil in small spaces. You can see that I have the mast up. We have all of the shrouds. I have the port or the hatch. We have where the mast goes. I've got the spinnaker pole. We have fenders. We have rails. So this is essentially a little primer on how to veil in really tight spaces. And this is something that if you are interested in gigging is really important to know how not to catch and trip and hit patrons or glasses or whatnot. And it's really important to know your periphery. So that way if you're doing fire or any kind of costuming, you're just a little more self-aware. If you're not a performer, this helps you with your self-awareness on how your body is moving and where it is, okay? So grab a veil or a flow prop, or if you don't have any of those, grab a wooden spoon. I don't care, just let's dance. Okay, check in the frame here. All right, take a deep breath in. And first I want you to become aware of your surroundings, okay? So just notice, I like to extend my arms out. We're gonna see where the negative and positive space is here. Like there's so much space around, but there is space that I have to avoid that can be hit. I like to notice what can be hit and what can't be hit. You can hit a wall, you can't hit someone's eyeball. You can't hit a wine glass, but you can hit a floor or a chair leg. You know, so just noticing like what might bounce off, what might destroy something. If you have fire, right, you want to make sure that you have clearance above you. If you have clearance above you, you should work whatever space you've got, okay? So in this case, I am on the boat. We have port side, we have starboard. Because we have so much stuff, we've stacked everything onto our starboard side, so we have a little bit more space port side. I have the space to move and a little bit better footing here. So I'm just going to test this out. I like to notice with my feet where and how I'm moving. And you can see that I'm just starting to swing my arm and my veil. If it's too much to swing the veil, right, just start moving your arms and moving everything about your body out, right? This is where we hold our core nice and tight so we can step easily, right? You almost want to create a mental map in your head of where you can step and how much clearance you have, where things are going to be angled, where you're going to need to step up, where things are slanted. Like nothing is flat here on this boat. And this would be enough space to do a small performance. And honestly, I have performed in places just as tiny as this, so you can too. So here, right now, I'm just gonna use my arm and imagine my veil as an extension of my arm moving out and through into the negative space. I'm actually carving as close as I can to the shrouds that we saw above us here, and I'm using my feet to show myself where I can move. I have a lot of lateral space kind of around my midsection here, and I have a lot of space up and over on the port side of the boat using my right arm. Okay, so facing you, right, I'm able to use my right arm. Facing away, I want to switch to my left. Another reason why you should be able to do everything on both sides. And so with this, I'm going to identify some movements in my head that are more lateral. Okay, so we're doing a lot of corkscrews here, up and down. I'm also doing a lot of swooshes and cuts back and forth and turns, right? We want to make sure that our feet feel stable, and that involves a lot of core work. Okay, I'm also just moving in interesting ways with both of my arms, and you can see that I'm twisting my torso to take up all of this lateral space. If I was in a different space and I had only upward space, that's where I would start to be concentrating. So I can do that here as well. I can toss the veil up and even start to use my other hand, right, to lift it up. Oh, and here, I toss it up and over the mast. Go with it, right? I'm gonna peel it off the mast, move with it, and use any of this as something that I can hit, right? I can actually drape this across here. I can use this to my advantage and thread the veil through. I could use the mast here and use it to very slightly put my weight on, right? We don't want to put a lot of weight on this, but I can touch it and actually acknowledge the fact that I don't have a lot of space. I can come all the way out here to the lifeline, and I can use the stanchion, like I can use this place to move out and through and start to create that amazing spaciousness into the negative space. And then easiest, I can face the place where I have a lot of space and just move the veil into that. So here, forward weave, side paddle, backward weave, turning the body around, across, body weave. Right, all of those are readily available. I can even step out here on the edge and really find my footing, activate my core, and be super kind of pushing my weight back towards the area where it is stable. And then I can be out on the edges and kind of keep my body moving in. So if I do fall, I don't fall off the boat, I don't fall off the platform, I don't fall off the stage. I'm actually gonna fall back onto the stage, right? So when you're on the edge, you're gonna kind of keep your weight moving towards the center where you have more space, and that's gonna keep you there. And lastly, you're gonna use both hands. You're gonna bring it in. Okay? We're actually gonna hug our prop into us, whether it's fire, whether it's a veil, and I'm gonna use both hands to almost shorten it. I'm gonna bend my elbow and use more of my wrist, no matter where I'm at, which when you have fire, it's gonna be hotter. When you have a costume piece, it's gonna be closer to the body. So move slower. And then here, I'm gonna be able to loop and wrap the veil around the body. And you see how this slower flow, and using my second hand to almost like wrap the veil around when it gets twisted, to slide it through and do some of the on-body laying techniques. I allow this very large, pretty large veil here, medium size, to fold over into my body, okay? And then that, that pulling in also helps, right? We pull it around, we hold it closer, and that shortens the veil, okay? Lastly, you can actually just manually manipulate it, and I'm just gonna grab it up with my other hand and shake it. And so here you can see that I have the weight, and I actually have kind of created a ponytail with the rest of this, and this makes the veil so much smaller. You could even take all of this, I'm gonna take this with my OK grip, grab it, thread my finger underneath, and I'm gonna hold the whole thing in my hand, creating kind of a little pouch, right? And I can hold the whole thing in one hand. I personally like it when it kind of spreads out a little bit farther with the second hand. You get a little more dynamism, but if you need to do a reveal or if you need to handle something, you can put it all in one hand, and then you kind of have this neat shaped prop. So there you go, a little sunset activation for flowing in small spaces. Thanks for watching. Thanks Lane Bones for being here, cheering me on the sidelines. And thanks to the sunset. Bye.
Yeah, I'm happy. So I was like, stop.